Okay, morning all. Welcome to PQ Interop number 29. Um, let's jump in with client updates. Zoom team.
Hello, Will. Hello, everyone. One second.
And I guess maybe I'll add, it sounds like we've got DevNet 3 shipped. We've got a lot of discussion going on about DevNet 5 and DevNet 4, somewhere in between there.
Yep. So I'm back. Yeah. Thanks, Will. Uh, yeah. So DevNet 3 work is almost, we are sort of wrapping it up on our end in the sense that we were trying to simplify DevNet 3 PR, figure out the issues, and we have merged the DevNet 3 PR into our main code base. There are some follow-up PRs that are going to come in, and we are also aiming to upstream if there are changes that we need to upstream in the spec from our perspective so that things are simplified at the spec level as well. And for DevNet 4, Anshul already put up a PR, and DevNet 5 discussions, I think we will do in the later half of the call. Uh, Apart from that, yes, so we have been running DevNet 3 runs with other clients and trying to figure out which one are compatible and which one have issues, and also trying to bring Lean Quick Start up to the mark. So this is sort of our update.
Great. Thanks, Gajender. Zoom or Ream team.
Sweet. On the DevNet 3 front, yeah, we have started running against other clients on the long running DevNets. However, in all our testing, we were testing starting the clients before Genesis, but I've seen in some of the logs that Katya was running the client after Genesis, and something was going wrong in sync. So that was something we were focusing on fixing, and Katya has raised some other issues involving invalid block state roots at higher slots. That's something we'll investigate further today. As for DevNet 4, we have implemented the part of the spec that we have split out the feature flags for DevNet 3 and DevNet 4. We have retired DevNet 2, and so now you can run DevNet 3 and you can run DevNet 4 on Ream. And but for DevNet 4, I think Lean Multisig does not have the current API. Does not use Lean 6 bindings for the current API. So I think that's something we'll be waiting on before we can move forward with DevNet 4. But apart from that, structurally, we have implemented parts of the DevNet 4 PR that could have been implemented, and yeah, we're gonna further continue testing on DevNet 3 and working on DevNet 4. That's it.
Thanks, Sharik. Clean. Emil, good to see you back.
Yeah, good to be back. Yeah, I'll have just some brief update on about myself and then pass the word to Ruslan as he is more aware. Yeah, I'll be kind of stepping down as CEO from Quadrivium. I'll be joining Ethereum Foundation soon. I'll still continue working on many stuff, including Lean Consensus, but yeah, the team will be mostly working, well, still advising sometimes Clean and working with it. But other than that, yeah, from now on, I think Ruslan is a better person to talk about Clean. So yeah, Ruslan.
Hello, thanks. So as for Clean, we made two branches, DevNet 2 and DevNet 3. Recently, we added to DevNet 3 branch and Docker image checkpoint sync. But currently there are some problems not yet investigated, like Clean for some reason doesn't accept new blocks after restarting or after checkpoint sync. So we're still investigating that. And DevNet 4, we didn't start implementing it yet. Thank you.
Thanks, Russell. Lantern.
Yep. Thanks, Will. Bye, everyone. So yep, since last week, just been focused on fixing bugs in Lantern, especially if it encounters a fork block in the head. It would basically replay all the blocks from Genesis and get stuck in this loop. But that has been fixed. Been running a long running devnet on a remote server with clean and ETH Lambda and for devnet 3, and it's been looking a lot stable. It's been able to finalize for more than 20,000 slots. Basically, we'll be testing with more clients as more updates get pushed out. And as well as just some improvements in logs, like easier tracking for if you're running the client, you can like see the commit hash to see which version it's running. And for DevNet 4, we'll be able to start work on it once the PR is merged into the lean spec. And yep, that's our update. Thanks.
Thanks, Mahir. ETH Lambda.
Hello. We were working on DevNet 3, as you mentioned. We merged DevNet 3 branch to main, so we deprecated DevNet 2. We have been debugging and fixing issues we found during non-finalizing runs, particularly around memory. We hit some out-of-memory errors when the chain doesn't finalize for a while. So we are working on this, on having a boundary memory there. Also, we fixed some metric computation of the link head slot. We stopped subscribing to aggregation subnets when we are not actually aggregating. As well, we made some cleanup, general code cleanup, and we added cross-claim XMSS compatibility test with RIM. So we will be working with DevNet 4 spec and fixing this OM in the runs. Thank you.
Thanks, Pablo. Game team.
Yeah, thanks, Will. Hello, everyone. So we've completed most of the work for DevNet 2, basically the integration for lean multisig for signature aggregation, and also the checkpoint sync for clients, basically for clients that are out of sync, they're actually syncing properly with checkpoint sync. We also tested Gene standalone on its own, and also did tested it using the multi-client Interop, just a local instance of that with Lean Quick Start on our own ends. And at the moment, justification and finalization is pretty coming up well. We have just one PR that needs to be reviewed, and then we also we round up most of the work we are doing on DevNet 2. And we are also looking forward to implement more of a persistent storage, because for now we are using an in-memory storage for most of the things we are doing. So we're looking forward to implement a persistent storage in DevNet 2. We are considering 2 DBs, basically Bolt DB or Pebble DB, but then we are going to be finalizing that and then wrapping that up. So before this week runs out, we should be done with DevNet 2 and see how we can move forward to DevNet 3. So yeah, basically that's it from our end at Gene. Yeah, thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. I don't believe anyone from Lighthouse, Grandine, Nimbus, are on the call. Les, call for client updates. Okay, great. Maybe we should move on to spec talk. Anshul, in the comments, I believe Gajender thought you might have an update on the DevNet 4 spec here.
Uh, Sorry, I couldn't hear you properly, but I think it is related to DevNet 4 PR that I have raised on this spec, right?
Yeah. Just curious if there's anything blocking you on that. I know it's up for review.
Yeah, it is up for review, and like Gajinder has already posted a few comments that I plan to solve today and update that PR. So yeah, I'll do that today and ask for a re-review on the channel itself. Once that is done, then I'll address the test cases that are failing. Right now, I have already made the changes on the functional side of things. Once like the draft PR gets approved regarding the more core changes, then I'll address the other issues that are there.
Thank you. Anything else regarding DevNet 4 specifications or research?
Yes, so I have a quick question. And like maybe Anshul can answer this. From my understanding, Camille usually makes us like a branch where we're using lean sig encoding instead of the XMSS encoding lean multisig. I wonder if this branch has been created and I haven't seen it, or we're still waiting on that.
So that branch hasn't been created, and like there are plans to not create that branch altogether. Like we had this discussion in the last week's call where we were planning to basically move to ZK friendly encoding based on a recent research paper I believe Benedict has written. Uh, I am not completely sure about the status on Lean Six side of things and how it is being planned to being modified on the Lean VM eventually. Maybe Tomas can elaborate upon that.
I can answer, sorry. It's not ready yet on Lean multisig. It's not ready yet either on LeanSig. So sorry about that. It's a work in progress. There's just too many things to do, but I hope it will be done in not too long. But honestly, there is just too much to be done, and I cannot promise you anything right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, 100%. I'm not rushing anyone. I was just like, I just didn't want to be in a position where I didn't know that there's a branch. So
No,
I'm glad to know that there is no branch yet.
I, I cannot guarantee you that it will be done in the next week, but I can guarantee you that when it's done, you will be noticed.
Thank you, Amir.
Pleasure.
But as per my understanding of what Anshul said, there is a branch, right?
There is no branch. There is no because I would need to do first a PR in INSIG and then to implement the changes in multisig, and so it remains to be done. But when it will be done, it will be noticed as soon as it's done.
Awesome. Thanks, Emil. Anything regarding DevNet 4? I know there's some open discussion about DevNet 5, but close the loop on 4 before we move forward.
So the
Great.
spec PR is up and I'll be making the changes, but nothing apart from that.
Okay, great. And then I guess
Also, if other teams
complementary.
have not, also if other teams have not reviewed the PR, please take a look.
Yeah, and if you could also take a look at the high level design doc or specification doc in the PM repo for DevNet 4. I believe that PR is in the comments and also open.
Yeah, a quick note on the PM when you brought up the PM repo. I made a PR to tag the latest branch for DevNet 3. I don't think it has been merged yet, but I think that should be merged so anyone is not misled.
Perfect.
So what Anshul, what path from the comments, do we have subnet as hard-coded as one in our DevNet 3 spec? I
Correct.
was under impression that we will be testing out multiple subnets in DevNet 3.
No, we have it hard coded as one. Also, I have already commented out this in the spec PR itself, but in DevNet 4, while I'm recursively aggregating the signatures, I am not sticking up to the subnet specifics. Also, although that is not the case right now, but even if like I receive multiple signatures from different multiple aggregated payloads from different aggregated subnet, I am basically aggregating them recursively and not sticking to that I'll only be aggregating to a particular set of subnets in as an aggregator.
Yeah, that is fine because that is how we want it. If you
Yeah.
get an aggregated payload from any of the subnets, you can aggregate it because as an aggregator, you can choose yourself to basically aggregate any subnet. Uh, so that is just to sort of manage traffic and say that, okay, this is the subnet that validators will be publishing their payload. So can we unhard code the subnet one? Because I don't understand why have we hard coded as one? Maybe just for the sake of the spec client or the Python client. I mean, if that is the case, then it can be moved to config and sort of remove the hard coding.
Yeah, sure.
Basically,
We
There
can
would
do
be a
that.
lot.
We can. Do we
Sorry,
do
Anshul,
we
go on.
want to raise it on this lean spec as well? Yeah, Pathe, you can continue. I think you have a PR
No,
as
no.
well for
My
that MC.
my only concern was modification to Lean Quick Start to support multiple subnets. For now, DevNet 3 PR on Lean Quick Start assumes you have a single subnet. Otherwise, we'd have to, spin up more machines in order to support multiple DevNets. So if we decide to support or rather test with multiple subnets, I'd have to make some changes there and bring up more machines.
Yeah, so once we are through single subnet testing, then that is the next step. And
Okay.
is need to be made to lean quick start for that matter. And if the subnet count is hard coded, basically it needs to be moved to the chain config. I think this is something that we already implemented in Zeem like that, but maybe it is not upstreamed. So I guess Anshul is going to put up a PR for this.
Yeah, sure, I'll do PR on a spec as well. But if we plan to do a DevNet testing with multiple subnets, we'll have to increase the number of validators as well. Right now, we have very minimal machines. If we have like 2 or 3 subnets, we'll have to ensure that we have like enough machines on each subnet so that the
Yeah.
aggregation can work properly.
Yeah, that is the plan. And last time also, I think I mentioned that we should have the document in which we should say that, okay, we tested 400, then maybe bump it up 200, 500, whatever. So yes, we need to bump up the validators because we have been testing with minimal validators, and it's time right now to actually get closer and closer to what things would be in mainnet. Yeah, Camille.
Yeah, I just want to say that I was contacted by Dave, who is kind of leading all the P2P efforts. He said he has opportunity to ask some university in US to allocate like 600 machines for any kind of experience that use P2P. So yeah, just saying that, yeah, we might consider to work with them to kind of spin up larger networks if anyone is interested. Yeah, can help to coordinate.
So I guess
Yeah.
we'll can coordinate with Dev over this and get us
Yeah,
the link.
okay. Yeah, I'll talk to him.
Yeah, if you could put me in contact, that'd be great. Wonderful. Any other DevNet 4 items?
Just that the PM, I have raised a high-level design on PM repo. That design is outdated. I'll be updating that as well. So if somebody refers to that design and compare it with the specs, there's a certain mismatch that I didn't preempt while writing that doc. I'll update the doc as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Anshul. DevNet 5 spec. I see Gadlander, you dropped a lengthy note in the DevNet 5 chat today. I don't know if you want to start off there.
Yeah, so basically, we propose that in DevNet 5. So right now, what we do is we don't sign over the block when the proposer signs over. It only signs over proposer written, and that is sort of, I mean, not ideal. So we would want to sign over the block as well as proposer attestation and use multiple messages in so aggregate signatures with multiple messages. And the way sort of I think it can happen is that so block and proposer attestation, so block message and proposer attestation, they are both signed by the proposer for the same index. So we have the restriction of one-time signatures, but since this is not being propagated to the network, it is not really an issue. So we recursively aggregate these two signatures in one signature, in one proof signature, which is then transmitted, and that I'm hoping will not jeopardize one-time signature scheme. And then using the interfaces that Emil provided, we can basically make sure that when we can independently validate signature proposer attestation against the signature, as well as independently validate block against the signature. So if we can do that, then what can be done is that this signature can be recursively aggregated with other XMSS signatures, which have the same message data as the proposer attestation message. So this is what came to my mind. If we can do this, then probably this is something that we can do in DevNet 5, and this would also solve the problem that we are not signing the block as of now.
Is it correct that you, in the solution, the proposer should sign two messages at the same slot at the same, two different messages at the same slot? And the idea that you have is that if it's inside an aggregated proof, and it's an important if, the snark is a ZK snark, like true ZK, in some sense, you mean that nobody can have the information of the two signatures, and so we cannot, like, it would remain safe because it's like a ZK snark. Just to be clear, currently it's not ZK in the sense that it's only succinct but not ZK. But is it correct?
Yeah, so this is what my proposal was, but but you are saying that currently the proof is not ZK, it's only succinct.
Currently it's not ZK, so currently it would be insecure, but it doesn't mean that it will not be ZK in the future. and there are some other use cases where ZK is valuable. And so it potentially it's a bit risky. Probably Benedict, who is raising his hands, has some thought about it.
Yeah, can you
Benedict?
hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think adding ZK just for this feature sounds like a massive overkill. I don't think we should add this just because of this feature. It would be maybe more useful to think of the two messages that the proposer needs to sign as one message and then just do one signature over them, right? I mean, you can sign arbitrarily long messages, so you can sign two messages as long as you treat them as one message and sign them.
Yeah, but would that basically give me the ability to validate against, let's say, one of the messages independently, or to aggregate them just using one of the message, right? So so once we have this combined proofs, the signature for block as well as proposer attestation. So I just want this signature that could be aggregated with other XMSS signatures from other
Yes,
validators.
so strictly speaking, what we thought about all the time was a multi-signature scheme where everyone signs the same message. Now you would say that this one party signs a different message, but because we are using snarks, we can equally well just do that, right? So you can, if you design the relation that is proven in LeanVM correctly, then you can also aggregate signatures for different messages. And I think this is a much more useful change to LeanVM than adding ZK just for that. Especially that I'm not even sure that ZK is sufficient for this construction to work.
A question. Among the two messages that you want to sign at the same slot with the same key, is there a dependency? In the sense, does the second message depend on the signature of the first message or not?
Can you tell that again?
Let's say you want to sign two messages with the same key as the same slot. Is there a dependency between the two? Does the second message that you want to sign depends on the signature of the first message?
So there is a dependency in the sense that proposer attestation is based upon the newly constructed block. So there is that dependency because first you construct the block, import it in the fork choice, and then you create your proposer attestation, whose head is basically the new block that you added. So in that sense, yes, there is a dependency.
So if I understand correctly, it's kind of I am the block proposer. I propose a block, I sign it, and then later I will vote for my own block. Is it this idea?
Yeah, so currently we don't sign the block because we only sign the proposer attestation. So the signing of the block is not there, but we just create the block, import it in the fork choice, and then create a proposer attestation on top of it. So proposer attestation is dependent upon the block, but not on the signed block.
Yeah, okay. I think I understand the use case. And is it possible to kind of maybe say that if I'm the block proposer, I don't need to attest to my own block, I attest by default, or it's not possible?
So so the attestation, when you are packing proposer attestation, that is not the attestation that can be consumed in this slot. It is like the feature attestation you are packing. What you are doing, for example, what generally happens in consensus is that the block proposer proposes a block, and then everybody consume it, imports it in the fork choice, and then the attestation round starts, which is basically the attestations that get packed in the next block. So it is not the attestation for this block. It is basically to be consumed and packed for the future for whoever is doing a block production downstream. So in that sense, it is not possible what you're saying.
Okay, I see. Okay. And can we skip the, I don't know, can we say that the block proposer doesn't vote for the second vote? I don't know
I mean,
how.
okay, so there's another solution that I want to just to introduce. I'm not sure if it's the best solution, but we should think about it. And that is if we say we have a lifetime of L, then we create a virtual lifetime of 2L. So we have twice as many one-time signatures, and we take the even one-time signatures for attestations and the odd ones for being a proposer. So you would just, in slot I, you consume one-time signature 2i and 2i plus 1, and you only consume 2i plus 1 if you are a proposer. And if we are already at 2 to the 32 maximum lifetime, then I guess it's probably fine to just have effective lifetime of 2 to the 31 by using this sort of even odd split.
But
So this was something that was also originally proposed, that we have basically either a separate key for proposing and attesting, or basically double the lifetimes and sort of index them out that way. But then we decided that okay, we could use, so lean VM would allow us just to pack it and somehow be able to aggregate it later on.
I think it would work. The only drawback, I guess, is the time. It would 2x the keygen time for the same effective lifetime. Couldn't we also have a solution where when you sign the block that you propose, like the first time you sign as a block proposer, you attach some kind of another one-time signature, a new, like a fresh one. You attach it to your block and use this new one-time signature to sign the second message, something like this. Like you
Then
keygen the one-time
at that
signature,
point,
but
aggregation kills you, right? Because this one-time key will be somehow lost in the aggregate, right? So if you aggregate the signature that contains the new one-time key, how can you retrieve this one-time key?
like you what you sign include a public key of a one-time signature.
Yes, and how do you make sure that everyone sees this one-time key? Because not everyone sees your signature, so they only see aggregate signatures, right?
You have to include it in the block, like the one-time public key is included in the block.
Yeah, but what Benedict is saying, that once basically downstream block proposer, he will try to aggregate this attestation signature with other signatures. Of obviously they will see the key, so they will have to pack it somehow in the signed in the proof itself, right? So
Yeah, I
that
mean,
others
maybe
can consume.
it works. I'm not saying it doesn't work. It's just a bit sounds complex to to make it work. But yeah.
But let me know if I am wrong, but Benedict, in your first proposal, you didn't propose to double the lifetime. You just say that given the high lifetime that we have of like couple hundred of years, we just do the stuff that you propose with the two, and so
Yeah, I
we
mean, you can
divide by
either
two the lifetime.
you can either say we double the lifetime or we take the lifetime that we have right now and we half the effective lifetime.
Yeah, because
So
I think that
yeah,
with 2 to the power 32, it is like
we can
500
afford.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, 500 years, something like that. You just divide by 2 is 250 years. This is also okay.
I think clearly the bottleneck would not be the total lifetime that because it's effectively a lot. The main bottleneck would be the keygen that would become 2 times slower for the same effective period since you need to generate 2 keys per slot.
Yeah. It would be same. Yeah, I agree with that. It's so what was the problem again of taking these two messages that you and treating them as one
Thanks.
message?
The problem is that the second message has a logical dependency with the first message. You need to include the signature of the first in what you sign in the second.
Okay.
There is also another solution, but if the no, sorry.
So if, for example, downstream, when the next proposer is sort of aggregating the signatures, it can also provide the message hash for the block, right? So while trying to aggregate it, because next proposer is the one who will be aggregating this with the other aggregates. So the question is that if message, so let's say message one is block and message two was proposer attestation, or it can be other way around. And when you're aggregating with the other aggregated signatures or XMSS signatures which are same of message two. So question is, in the final aggregated signature, can you drop message one? If it can drop, basically what can happen is that the final aggregated signature can be verified independent of message one, which was the block message. So if this can happen, then there is no problem.
I don't think that works. Like this would essentially say you verify a snark without having the full state.
But can't message one be treated as a witness itself? I mean, when you're trying to aggregate it, so
Yeah, but for the parties who want to verify that message one is part of it, they need to treat it as a statement. So you would have two different relations that you prove. So you need two different snarks. So what about the following? So this goes back to Emil's suggestion. When you are proposer, when you sign, you include a new one-time key, and then when you are proposer the next time, you use that one-time key to sign. And so essentially, what I'm saying is just use a completely different signature scheme for proposer signing than for attestations. For attestations, we use XMSS, and for proposer signing, we use this very naive chaining of one-time signatures. And you can always, and because there's only one proposer per block, it's fine that you include a new next public key for the next time I will be a proposer.
I want just maybe. Sorry, please.
So what I think that could work. So what you're saying is that when I create a block, I basically sign it with a different proposer key, and sort of in the final signature that I make with proposer attestation, I somehow include it.
No, I'm saying that forget about the two things. Let's say we solved attestation signatures using XMSS. Now forget about that. How do we do proposer signatures? We use a very naive, completely independent, stateful hash-based signature scheme where when you sign, you also publish a public key that you use for the next signature. So when I want to verify a proposer signature, I check when has this party been proposer last time, and there I look up the public key.
Yeah, so basically public keys get updated in the state
Yeah,
as
whenever
blocks get
you
added.
sign as a proposer, you update your public key essentially. But this is not the same public key as your XMSS public key for attestations, because you need to do attestations much more often. That's why we don't want to use this chain-based scheme. So yeah,
So
I don't
this
know.
means
It's not the perfect
that
solution. It's a weird solution, but it's one solution.
in this case, this means that you have two keys registered per validator each
Yeah,
time,
exactly. Yeah,
and you update the second
and one of
one.
them is updated all the time.
Yeah.
When one of them is updated whenever you are proposer, essentially.
Okay.
Yeah, this could make sense. I mean, so I think what we can do right now for DevNet 5 is that since our DevNets are short term, we can just use index one, so odd and even index of the key. And in the meantime, we can figure this out, how to do it, because this suggestion I think is workable for sure. That we have proposer signature that is being updated, proposer key that is being updated all the time.
I
And
mean, you can also mix the two things, right? This chain-based signature that I described, like you don't need to do a one-time signature. Let's say you do a 16 times signature, and then you only need to update your proposer key every 16th time you have been a proposer, right? So you can use essentially you can use a very short lifetime XMSS for being a proposer, and then you use a long lifetime XMSS for being a tester. And this means that you just need to take care that when you are proposer and your lifetime of being proposer runs out, you need to update your key.
so this is sort of like an epoch treatment, but on the level of an individual validator, right?
Yes, exactly. And I guess individual validators could pick different, completely independent lifetimes for the proposer key. I, I'm not sure. This makes it a bit more complicated again, but yeah.
So for the simplicity for the next DevNet, why don't we then generate two keys, right? And just enroll them directly in the state at the Genesis. I mean, I don't see an issue in that for as of now.
It seems the cleanest approach. If you don't care about keygen, it's probably the simplest way to do it is.
All right, so we'll keep thinking on this a bit more and sort of figure this out and
just
finalize this while we are pegging out DevNet and implementing DevNet 4.
a
But
question,
yeah,
is it
thanks for all the input.
is it
Sorry, what
possible
did
to
you?
have any guarantee on, for instance, some guarantee like you cannot be proposer two times in a row, like in 16 blocks, like the proposer, like if you take 16 blocks, there cannot be two times the same proposer. It doesn't work if there are less than 16 proposers, but I don't know.
So one very problematic thing that can happen is that, let's say, so there were 16 forks that happened, right? And or 17 forks, and on the 17th fork, basically, you could not enroll your new key, but now your lifetime is sort of over. I mean, this is an extreme case, but this is something that could happen,
Okay,
and will be, yeah.
okay. So bad solution. Okay.
So what we can do for now is maybe spec out DevNet 5 with respect to separate keys, or basically odd even, but we still will need message one and message two aggregation, because, or
Yeah.
we might even not need it, yeah, because we'll have different
In,
signatures published.
in any case, this part is really easy with LinVM. So if you can write down the API, it will be really easy to make it implemented with LinVM.
So when we are going live, I mean, when we'll go, for example, live in L-star hard fork, so will we go with ZK or not?
I believe we shouldn't assume ZK right now. Even though there are other use cases of LinVM that will need ZK, so potentially there will be ZK by default, but I would not assume ZK to build the consensus layer in some sense.
Is the idea, sorry, I was a bit distracted. Is the idea that you have basically a Ziggy style signature with a proof of knowledge of a pre-image in ZK? Is that the idea?
I believe the idea was to use two times, there was a use case where you need to sign
Right.
2 times with the same XMSS at the same slot, 2 message difference, and it should work. At least it makes sense that it could work with a
Oh, I
ZK snap,
see.
but it's not yeah.
I mean, one issue with using a SNOC for signing is that it's unfriendly to weak devices. It
Correct.
might not, yeah.
Correct.
So we should not be assuming security because of the snark. It is basically coming from the underlying scheme.
Yeah, and if we do it, it also exposes on like the side channel attacks that were in some sense not an issue with XMSS would become an issue this time, probably.
So I think for now, maybe we can spec it with 2 keys or with if odd even. And if we do that, we might not even need message one, message two, because if proposer attestation is signed independently, basically, then it can just be aggregated in the normal way.
Beautiful, perfect. And potentially keygen will be so fast with SIMD or other software optimizations that it will not be a problem to have this 2x overhead, because if it makes the overall protocol simpler, you can probably spend a few more minutes at keygen in some sense.
Maybe we still do it to bring the signature size down for the block. So yes, I mean, yes, we'll see, we'll iterate on it.
Excellent. Any other spec research related conversations pertaining to DevNet 5? Metrics, observability, any updates that you'd like to, or topics you'd like to table this week?
Yes, hello everyone. So currently, today I'm trying to keep the DevNet alive. It's running with these 6 nodes. So I replaced Zim temporarily for ETH Lambda and Grandin for Clean. So whatever the images from those 2 teams will be ready. So I will replace them back. So the big win of today is that the DevNet stalled at around 500 slot with finalization, but then it could recover. So I restarted some nodes with checkpoint sync. And so currently I'm struggling again with the recovering it. So it could recover from stalling at 500 slot to 2500. So now I made some fixes about checkpoint sync and still struggling to keep it live. So the issues with the clients I share in the tool channel, like with Lambda, what you should investigate. So whenever we lose finality, so just you use a lot of memory. And also, I'm asking for DevNet 3 metrics, at least who is aggregator to know, like, or which subnet, because we are moving forward and going to increase the number of nodes. So this is important. If whenever your client is ready for metric 3, please pin me in the channel. I will update the dashboard so we can observe them as well. Thank you. If this DevNet won't recover, I will restart it again. Thank you.
Thanks, Katya. Um, Any other open discussion topics? If not, I have one, which is just to talk about the schedule for CAN. This came up or was shared yesterday. So most of our focus will be on fort mode, obviously, as a group. This is the event, the day that will be analogous to Beam Day last year. We're going to precede that on Saturday with a beast mode day. This is primarily focused on ZK VMs, L1 ZK VMs, ETH proofs, things of that nature, native rollups. So yeah, really the spirit behind the scheduling. They're both in the same venue. It's a rather small venue, only 80 people. We have a lot of interest. We're approving requests for many more people than 80, so it's first come, first serve. You got to do that with these things, otherwise you end up with empty seats because people sign up and they don't show up. So that being said, really trying to put an emphasis on open forum discussions. We thought that that was really, really beneficial out of Beam Day last year. The ETH Proof Day is a little bit more presentation focused. You've got a lot of teams that, actual ZKVM teams that want to give their updates, but then there will be a lot of debate around and open discussion around the security sprint and sort of weighing canonical guests versus guest diversity tied in with formal verification, and then the road to mandatory proofs. So that aside, with fort mode, really, we're going to start off Justin giving a high level introduction, and then Thomas talking about the new team, Lean CL, Antonio Sanso talking about cryptographic functions, and then Emil doing a deep dive into Lean VM. We're going to have a presentation from Nico talking about PQ signatures, but on the execution side. And then the afternoon, really, this is, I think, a great opportunity to start to think about perhaps like what the 6 months between CAN and Cambridge will look like. So starting off, getting some really great presentations from Jan from the protocol consensus team, talking about fast finality and in-game finality. So there's a lot of in-flight research right now that will be presented there. And then same thing with the P2P layer. So Raul, the team lead for the networking team, will be presenting ETH P2P, I believe, for the first time. And then another talk from Thomas about lean spec, one from Katya talking about metrics and observability. And then really we are going to reset the whole room into like kind of a round table open forum discussion like last year and end with 90 minutes of a lot of debate and discussion, talking about hopefully each of the CL teams that are there, talking about lessons learned, trying to bring topics of conversation that we've heard from the consensus researchers, networking researchers, to hopefully align on a roadmap or scope items that we want to build into the next several DevNets from that point on. So that's my little presentation, but yeah, any thoughts? Otherwise, we'll leave it there. Excellent. Look forward to seeing you all soon. Spring is finally starting to pop around the corner here in New York City. It's been brutal winter. Really looking forward to camp. All right. Have a good day. Talk soon, everyone.
You guys.
Yep.
Bye.
Thanks,
Everyone.
everyone. Bye.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye.